welcome to Pandora FMS. In today's video, we're going to learn how to configure the Linode plugin for monitoring our cloud infrastructure using this service. This is an enterprise plugin, so if you want to try it and you don't have an enterprise license, you may request a free trial. At the end of the video, you will have more information about it. The first thing you need to be able to monitor your Linode cloud is an API token that allows you to authenticate against the service. To that end, just follow a few steps. First, log in with your Linode account in this administration console. Now go to the upper right corner and click on your username. We can see several options, including API token, which is the one that concerns us this time. Click and you will see this screen. Click on the button to create a new personal token and follow the wizard. We will need root permissions. I'm going to give them to all the elements because we will make this plugin grow to monitor more services later. But if you want to restrict the permissions as much as possible, right now choose only those of Linode's and account. Now I'm going to define the expiration date of this token. In my case, I don't want to have to worry about changing it every so often, so I will define that it does not expire, but this depends on the security policies of each environment. Finally, I will set a label. In my case, I will set Pandora FMS, but the name of this tag is simply to identify it, so you can put whatever you want. Now click on Create Token and it will return a text string that is the one we will use to authenticate with the plugin. So copy and save it, since we won't be able to see it again. If you lose it, you will have to create a new one. Well, we already have the authentication. Now download Pandora FMS Module Library plugin. Type Linode in the search bar and access the plugin. Here you can see a small summary of what we can obtain with it and the links to the documentation in English and Spanish that we can check online or download in PDF. After the documentation, there's a download link. Remember that this is an enterprise plugin, so you will have to be logged in with your account to download it. Once you have it downloaded, upload the package to Pandora FMS server through the method you prefer. I will use SCP. Unzip it using the unzip command and place the binary in the path where you have your server plugins to keep it organized. This default path would be /usr/share/pandora_server/util/plugin/. So I will put it here, and of course I will give it execution permissions. Before configuring the plugin in the console, first run it manually, so run it from the terminal without any parameters. This will print a quick help on the screen where you can see that you have 3 parameters available and only one is mandatory. The mandatory parameter is a token that we created for authentication, and optionally you may define a custom group for the generated agents and a directory for the data that unless you have a custom installation or you are debugging, you will not have to change. For this case, we're going to use the default options and we will only add the mandatory parameter with our Linode token. It will take a few seconds and it will return 1 if everything was successful. This means that it has generated the agents correctly. In fact, if you go to the Pandora console of this server, you will see that the new agents have been created with information obtained by the plugin. 1 for billing and account status, and 1 for each instance in your environment with performance metrics, such as CPU, memory, or disk and network usage. Now that you have verified that it works and you have done the first execution manually, configure it in Pandora FMS as a server plugin that runs every 5 minutes automatically. To do it, go to Pandora FMS console. From the menu, go to the Servers Plugins section. There you will see the different server plugins that already exist. Declare a new one, so click on Add and the configuration screen appears. Add a name and a description if you wish, just to identify it. Then go to the Plugins command section. Here what you need to do is declare the location where you previously stored the plugin. In my case it was /usr/share/pandora_server/util/plugin/, followed by the name of the plugin as you can see. In this section we will not define any parameters, only the path of the executable. If you save the plugin in another path, make sure you type it correctly. In the next section, Plugin Parameters, is where you can define the parameters of your plugin. You can do it literally by entering the parameters in plain text or using macros, which will allow you to use this plugin for different cases. As always, we recommend the use of macros, and that is what we're going to use right now. You can use the macro underscore field x underscore, where x will define the ID of the field. It is very simple, you will see. For now, since we have 3 parameters, we will use 3 fields, one for each case, and it will be something similar to this. It is not necessary to declare the 3 fields, since 2 of the parameters are optional, so you could simply not add them in the execution, but in this case we will declare them. If you declare the 3 parameters, it would look like this, where the form itself tells you what the result of the execution would be. Nice, now we only need to define the macros at the bottom indicating what each of the fields is. In this case, underscore field1 underscore is a macro that you can declare below. Put a description, which could be a name. For this field, I will use token, and in default value the one we want it to have. If you want so, you may also leave it empty so that when you use the plugin in an agent, the value must be entered manually. In this case, we're going to paste the token generated previously, and we're also going to activate the hide value check, since it is an authentication token and we do not want it to be in plain text. Finally, we can set a help that tells the user to use this plugin, what each field means and how to fill them in. In this case, type in Linode auth token, for example. Now carry out the same steps for each declared field, in this case 3. The remaining 2 are those of the group parameter and the data underscore in parameter. Remember that these are optional, it is not necessary to declare them, but for this video we will declare them all. Now click Create, and there you have your plugin execution declared to be able to use it in the agent you want. As we have declared different macros, if we wanted to monitor 2 Linode accounts, we would simply add a different token on each execution. Next, we're going to see how we would execute this plugin. Go to the Agents menu and choose the agent where you want to run the plugin, or create it if you want a new one. I'm going to use the one called Linode that I created previously. Go to the section Add Modules and select Plugin Server Module and click on Create. You will see a selector where you may find all the defined plugins, including the one you just defined, which in my case I called Linode. Select it and you will see that it asks you for the fields that you defined, token, group, and data underscore in. As we have defined it, token has a default value and it is also hidden, although you can change it, and the group and data underscore in fields have to be filled in manually. I will set the group Linode that I created previously and in data underscore in the default path, since this is a standard Pandora FMS installation. You can see that in the name of the field you will have a small hint that allows you to see the help that you defined for each field, which is very useful for other team members to know how to use this plugin. As additional information, if you click on the help of the plugin field, it will take you directly to the part of the server plugin macros that will allow you to use pre-configured variables such as the agent's IP or its ID. For this plugin, it doesn't seem very useful, but it opens the door to many other types of plugin that use this information. Finally, don't forget to name the module and define a type. In this case, we know that it is Boolean, since it returns 1 when it works and 0 when it does not. Once done, click on Create, and in a few seconds you will see that your plugin has been executed. If everything was successful, it will return 1, and it will be shown in green. Now go to the group that you defined, and you will see that your agents appear. Be careful, if when you run the plugin manually you select a different group than the one you defined in the console, the agents will be shown in the group where they were created the first time. You can just delete them so that they are properly created in the next execution, since groups are assigned only in the creation process, or you may also move them manually from the console. And that was it for today's video. Don't forget it, if you like the video, smile, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also remember that if you're interested in trying Pandora FMS Enterprise, you may contact us to get a free 30-day trial. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope to see you on social media and in future learning videos.